All right, welcome to the John and Tony Show. We made it. We had some difficulties there in the beginning, some audio difficulties, technical stuff. I got it all ironed out, so we're going with the show today. You might see me look down. I'm running the show. We got the my engineer who's running the show. We actually got him on a sailboat. He's checking to see if the Earth is actually round or flat. Anyway, my name is Tony Scott, and we're going with the flat Earth theory today, folks. This is going to be some funny stuff. Not sure if you guys out there believe in the flat Earth. And I'm just trying to get these graphics out here for you kids. I've always known the Earth to be round for all my life. 53 years, Earth round. 54th year, Earth flat. Well, hang on a second. How could the Earth be flat? But that's going to be our today's topic we're going to talk about. I just got this goofy stuff here. You just bear with me, folks. Joining me today, live via Skype, very good friend, John Allen. John, how you doing?
Hey, doing good out here in Indianapolis. How are things in Vegas?
Oh, Vegas is good.
Good. That's good. You know, we had that snowstorm yesterday. We survived that, and I didn't wreck my car, so all's good.
Oh yeah, no doubt, right? No doubt. Yeah, I guess we're going to be doing the flat Earth theory today, and some crazy stuff. We're going to go over it with everybody and see what everybody thinks. I got, believe it or not, Ferdinand Magellan is the first person to allegedly sail around the world. And let me get Ferdinand on here. Got my old boy Ferdinand. Here he comes. Sorry for the delay and all that. He was the first person to actually sail around the world, but in fact, he fell short. Made it to the Philippines and got into a war and was killed. Not sure what the war was about. And his successor, my good buddy here, Juan Elcano. This guy is the guy who actually sailed around the world. Made it back to Spain in the Victoria. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. So, you know, the Earth being flat, I'm thinking, no, I'm going with, my money's on Ferdinand Magellan and Juan Elcano. They sailed around the world. People look at the Earth as being flat, and let me just show you a quick flat graphic of the world, guys. This is, I like this one. This one I didn't suspect to have this one on here, but I do. This is what the world looks like flat. And I guess if you looked at it and you said, well, Juan, they never really sailed around it. They just kind of sailed around continents. Well, they did, but it was the bottom of the Earth. It was the southernmost part of the Earth, so they actually did sail around the world. But that's my flat Earth, and you'll see this flat Earth on all the YouTube stuff. People doing their flat Earth stuff, and then you'll see them use this graphic as well as I. And I do believe, John, you got what do you got today for us on the flat Earth?
Yeah, you know, to add to this flat Earth thing. Well, when we first decided to do the show, and in the first show episode, you said, "Hey, you know, let's do one on the flat Earth." I thought, flat Earth theory. I didn't, and to be honest with you, I'd never really heard of it. I was just, you know, thinking that everyone assumed the Earth was round. Didn't really know that there was a flat Earth society. So anyway, out there. So I thought, well, it's pretty interesting. So I dug into it. And, you know, the thing is, I got with the ancient Greeks, you know, in Greece. I mean, starting with Aristotle, you know, he's 340 years before Christ. Aristotle and some of his scientists, you know, they discovered that the Earth was round long before the technology that we have today.
Right.
And the reason why they did that is because back then they would use different tools and they had like primitive type of telescopes back then, not like we have today. But they would look at star alignments in a way the stars moved, and they'd actually build stone structures to where you could see the sun actually moving, and they determined that the sun wasn't actually moving, it's actually the Earth.
Right.
So really, to get to the bottom line, you know, the ancient Greeks, they discovered that the Earth was round, you know, 1,000 years ago or so.
Right.
You know, and to add to that, in an eclipse of the moon, the Earth's shadow is always round. So when the Earth passes in front of the moon, you can see the curvature of the Earth, and it's round. I mean, and that's how you get like a half moon, a crescent moon, and whatnot. And that's really proof right there that the Earth's round. I mean, just by simply casting a shadow against our moon, you can see the curvature there. So, I mean, you look at the ancient Greeks, you look at the Egyptians, they all studied star alignments and in the movement of the Earth, and they determined the Earth was round and actually spun and was on a sphere and in an orbit.
Right.
So, yeah, it's pretty interesting, and like I said, they really looked into. They were pretty sophisticated for what they had back then.
Right. Exactly.
And they were experts at learning the star movements,
right,
and the galaxy, and they were able to determine that the Earth actually had not only round, but like I said, had an orbit, but around the sun, that the sun was stationary, and the Earth actually was the one that moved and was round, and not the rest. But yeah, interesting stuff there too. And
it is. Yeah, I think it is completely interesting. Fascinating. Why all of a sudden, for hundreds of years and even thousands of years that the Earth is round, and now all of a sudden it's flat. And I think one of the things I would like to demonstrate is if the Earth was flat, if you can tell in this graphic that where you are here, you would be able to see the sun in the dark just as well as you would be able to see the sun where it was light. That's interesting, and I got another.
Right.
Let me bounce back forth here. Even the flat Earth. Here we are with the flat Earth.
There's that disc.
Yeah, no, there's that disc again. The flat Earth disc. Where I got my regular Earth. This is the regular Earth, what we know now. That's the snow globe Earth. And then here's the flat one. But like I was saying, if the sun was up here, the sun's over here, but everybody on this flat Earth would be able to see it. So yeah, I know. I mean, we just need to figure that out. I mean, at 12 midnight here in Vegas, you go outside, it's dark, there is no sun. I don't see the sun. I don't see the sun anywhere. But in this model, at midnight, you would be able to look up in the sky, and you would be able to see the sun. How uncanny is that? I mean, I don't get it. And I got another graphic, guys. Bear with me here. Let me get some of these graphics up here for you. Here we go. I got this. Check this out. I just want to show you guys this. Look at this. Look at this. The world map here on the flat Earth. As you can see, it's light in the United States on the bottom one. On the top one is dark. But lo and behold, if you can see where the sun is, everybody on the entire planet on a flat Earth model would be able to see the sun, and probably the moon at the same time. It's quite interesting. I don't know where. Like I said, I don't see it.
Well, it's just like you talk about the flat Earth theorist. Of course, the Earth's flat, right? What they say, and then the sun revolves, and the moon and everything revolves around the flat Earth, from what I understand.
Right.
But yeah, if you have the sun up here, it's shining down on the whole surface of the plate of the Earth, essentially. And so, if it's light here in Indianapolis, Indiana, it's going to be light in Cairo, Egypt. It's going to be light in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's going to be light in Chicago, Illinois.
Oh, right.
If the Earth is flat, and that's not the case, because I guarantee it's light here, and it's not light in Cairo, Egypt, right now.
Well, I know. We just need to find somebody.
Another thing too, Tony, to prove my point is I have like lights that hit the top of my ceiling.
Right.
And that illuminates. I have one light. My ceiling is flat. Say that's the Earth up there, the flat Earth. It illuminates my whole room. It lights up the whole room. So it would be essentially the same thing, I would think, with the flat Earth. If the Earth was flat and you got a sun hitting the Earth like that, so especially if the sun's rotating around, it's pretty much going to light up everything. I mean, and that's just not the case.
No, it's not the case at all. I don't see. Wasn't there somebody that who did that experiment years ago? Many moons ago, they did a. I think you were going to mention somebody. I think that did an experiment as far as trying to find out if the Earth was actually flat or if it was actually round. I think
Well,
that, yeah, I
well,
think,
you talk about row bottom, same with row bottom.
right, right.
Uh, but to kind of back things up, we were talking about the ancient Sumerians. They were long before the Bible.
All right.
Probably 1,000 years before the Bible was even written. They too also knew that the Earth was round, and they also mapped out the galaxy. They knew the solar system. Rather, they actually have ancient text, where they describe the solar system. And every planet in the solar system and every planet out there is round.
Right.
And so my question is to flat Earth people, theorists, if all the other planets in the solar system and the universe essentially is round, why would ours be the only one that's flat? To me, it just doesn't make any sense.
Oh, that don't make sense at all.
You know what I'm saying?
So, you know.
Yeah, it makes no sense at all. But yeah, I mean, but really, so Samuel Rowbottom, he was the one that he was English literatures, and he wrote literature, English guy.
Right.
And basically, from what I understand, he's the one that brought this flat Earth theory to light, so to speak.
Right.
But we'll get to him. We'll get to him later on.
Yeah, we'll talk about Sammy a little bit later on. I'm going to move through some of this other stuff. I got a interesting thing that I looked at in the flat Earth thing is I used. I'd like to show you guys Google Earth. This thing is this is funny to do. Once you look at and I actually Google Earth Pro just took a here we go. Here I got them up. Sorry for the delay, guys. I'm looking for my mouse now. Go figure, this thing's like here. Check out Google Earth. Now that everybody's seeing Google Earth and not my goofy self. If you even just it's kind of I guess you're having a little bit of problems with the. It could be my mouse. Yeah, this is zoom in here. To show you guys Indianapolis here. And I'm glad I got the mouse on there. At least if you were to take off, like in an airplane, right? You headed south, and you just keep headed south. Eventually, you would fly all the way around, and it's going to take you probably a ton of money and a ton of fuel to get around this Earth. And get up around the North Pole, and then of course my mouse stopped. And eventually you're going to come back around to where you started in Indianapolis. So that's interesting. I mean, just looking at Google Earth Pro is kind of funny. Even at the flat model. Let me go back over here because I'm going to keep this on. I'm going to keep this Google Earth Pro up and show you something here. Even in the flat Earth model, well, lo and behold. If you we introduced gravity along with, because that's what keeps everybody to the ground is gravity, and if you're, no matter where you are in here, if you started flying, or maybe even in a boat, to the outer rims of the flat Earth, well, gravity pulls everybody back to the center. So you would walk and you would just stop walking, or you would find it hard to walk because the gravity is pulling you back to the center. So I don't get that, I'm confused.
Yeah, you mentioned this guy, I don't know his name off the top, you know him. The guy that did the experiment in the airplane trying to prove the flat Earth. Yeah.
There was a guy that I ran across the YouTube show. He was flying from, I think, Wisconsin, Green Bay, Wisconsin, somewhere up north in the United States. And I think he flew over to France. He was doing a talk show in France, and he had two cell phones and a compass. And on the cell phones there was a bubble level. And so he was trying to do the experiment, saying that, okay, you got the round Earth, right? Okay, and we're taking off over here, and we're heading over towards France. And as you're flying over, he was saying that if you started heading over across the Earth down towards your destination, well, the bubble level would nosedive you. and you would be in a nosedive, which is interesting because when he got to France, the bubble level never moved. But I think what people are missing is there's an artificial horizon inside the cockpit of an airplane, which actually self-corrects for the curvature of the Earth. Believe it or not. Very interesting. But that was interesting. He did that. I had fun watching it.
Yeah.
It took him a while. He didn't do the whole thing. It would take him 10, 15 hours to get from where he was from point A to point B. It would take too long to video record that, but he did it in sections. It was kind of cool to watch. I mean, I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all.
The thing is, like you're talking about, he's flying the airplane. He's like, well, hey, that my needles and stuff would start going down. I was nosedive, but that's not true because the gravity is set up in a way with the Earth, the way the Earth is round,
right?
That it would stay at constant. So his compasses would stay at constant. It wouldn't show him nosedive because he's actually going around the orbit, basically of the Earth, so to speak. So I mean, the gravity is pulling everything evenly. If you look at it with common sense, so it's not like it's going to just all of a sudden pull real hard.
Oh, I know.
And the thing is too about the flat Earth. Okay, here's the thing. All right. If you believe in the flat Earth or whatever, God love you, and we're not here to put down people that believe in the flat Earth or believe in the round Earth or whatever. We're not putting anybody down. I try to keep an open mind about things. I mean, you never know how things are or whatever, but we're just trying to figure out and show us proof. The flat earthers out there show us proof that it is flat. I mean, okay, you take an airplane and you just keep on flying. You should fly into space, right?
Oh yeah,
eventually
right.
you're going to fly off the edge.
Yeah, where do you go?
So what happens? Like if you're flying your airplane, say the Earth is flat, and you're flying your airplane, say west, and you keep going west, and eventually hit that outer plane. You just go into space, and does your airplane explode or implode or something? I mean, I don't know.
No,
flat Earth people need to go ahead and respond and tell us how that works, or take a plane and fly it out there. You should hit the edge.
Right.
You should hit the edge.
Right. You would. Right.
And
exactly.
like you demonstrated earlier on the round Earth, if you're flying your airplane, you're just going to keep going around. You're not gonna hit the edge and all of a sudden that's it.
Yeah, it doesn't come to an end. No, it doesn't. It doesn't come to an end because you just keep going. Well, here, you just keep going completely around right. all day long.
Yeah. And gravity's keeping you there.
Gravity's holding you to it because in the flat Earth model, we're going to go see everybody in wherever's over here, whatever country's over here, we're going to go see over there for Christmas, and we're all summer flying, and well, we were going to.
I think they think.
Well, we were going to go see
Antarctica runs around the edge.
We're on our way out to Pluto now, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't know where to stop because how would you know when to stop on a flat Earth? You just fly. How would you know when to stop? Maybe you just. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're currently in outer space now. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
how do you reconcile that?
You're funny. Yeah.
How do you you get up in the you're in the airplane, you get up to use the restroom, next thing you know you're floating back there because you're in outer space. I mean, how do you reconcile that? I mean, I think that's crazy. I mean, wouldn't you think that somebody say, okay, hey, listen guys, the Earth is flat and we're just gonna prove it to the entire 7 billion people on the planet. We're going to prove to you that's flat. Okay, go to the edge with the camera, film it. Hasn't been done. Rest my point there.
Yeah, it hasn't been done.
No.
And, if you look back, if we talk about the ancient, not ancient rather, but we talk about the sailors, from 600 years ago or something, the Magellans and Columbus.
Right.
Columbus is comes to mind first. They told Columbus, "Oh, I don't know if you should do that because you're going to fall off the edge of the earth with your ship."
Right.
Well, we know today that he never did. He kept on going. He never fell off the edge.
Oh, right, exactly.
He never fell off the edge, and so that was proof right there that the earth was not flat, or else he would have just gone into the black hole or infinity or whatever happens. But
exactly.
But like you said, when we first decided to talk about this flat Earth, I'm just amazed that there's people today that actually believe it. Because a couple hundred years ago, or hundreds of years ago, I could see that because they didn't really know, except for the ancient Egyptians and Greeks rather, and Sumerians and those types of civilizations and
Right.
cultures.
Right.
They discovered the Earth was round. They started figuring it out, but majority of people did believe the Earth was flat back then. I mean, really, if you think about it, if you never left Kansas, I mean, you would swear the Earth's flat out there because, I mean, it seems flat in Kansas. But, if you go to, I'll just use this Sears Tower example. All right. If the Earth was flat, you could go to Chicago, Illinois, get on the top of the Sears Tower on a clear day, and you should be able to see the Rocky Mountain Range. Well, I guarantee you'll never see the Rocky Mountain Range from the top of the Sears Tower. And the simple reason is because the Earth is curved, people. It's curved. The Earth is curving. And so you'll never see that. And then, you talk about the ships. If you follow a ship and you watch it go out to sea to the edge of the horizon, and all of a sudden it disappears. Well, you notice when the ship starts to disappear, the bottom of the ship is actually going down first. You lose it. And that's because it's not falling off the edge. I mean, they thought that hundreds of years ago, but it's because the curvature of the Earth, again, the ship is going around the Earth.
Right.
So then you lose the bottom first. It just kind of looks like it's sinking.
Right.
And then disappears. And that's actually because it's going over the curvature.
Oh.
So, yeah, but interesting stuff.
Yeah, you're talking about that Sears Tower. I was looking for some graphics for that. You can find all kinds of graphics for all kinds of pictures of the Sears Tower. But I got this altitude reference chart that I made up. I just want to show everybody here and kind of explain that
to them.
Explain that what this entails of. So let's just check this out here. It's a little small on my screen, but if you see this altitude chart here, I did this on Las Vegas. So this is my hometown in Vegas here. All right. And then the other X over here is downtown Phoenix. So now in order for you to see downtown Phoenix from Las Vegas, which is roughly about 280 miles, you would have to come up to this X here, which is 9.6 miles in the air in order to see downtown Phoenix. You just take, I don't have a calculator with me real quick, but you take 5,280 feet times 9, and I don't think you're going to get an airplane to go that high. You might want to call NASA, might want to call them guys up and say, hey, we would like to borrow the shuttle so we could go see. Because right. that's basically what John was talking about, because you could not see it according to this chart. And this is, of course, the Earth here is not to scale. This is actually, I put this together in Photoshop, and it's not really to scale, but you can see the miles here. I just took their Earth circumference of 24,901 miles and divided that by 360 and got every degree as about 69 miles or so, 70 miles. So this is, like I said, it's 9 miles, kids. You'd have to go up 9 miles in the air in order to see downtown Phoenix, and that it's not happening.
Yeah, you'd have to have a really tall Sears Tower to see the Rocky Mountains.
Oh yeah,
go up into space.
Right. A big one. A big. And it's I'm seeing. I was mystified. I don't even think mystified is the correct word, but I was just like dumbfounded watching these guys in Chicago, down on the banks of the Lake Michigan, right? And they're saying that you can't see. I think they're looking at Chicago and showing that the Earth actually curves from the point that they were, because they were on the other side of the lake.
Oh yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I think they were on the other side of the lake looking out. But if you look at this model, and this is kind of funny, because I saw this and I was kind of thinking, how could this be? Well, here, I'll just use this as an example, because just pretend that the model's over the model. You're looking at this model, because if you were to wrap the United States on here, right? And so right. say that LA or California's over here, right? And the West Coast, and then the East Coast is over here, and then Chicago's up here somewhere. Just a little spot, just a little spot. Now they're saying that if it's flat, you're going to be able to see that. You're going to be able to see your target. Well, and they are seeing the target. They were seeing the target. I'm thinking to myself, I'm going, of course, you're not that far out. You're only, what were they? I think, I didn't write it down, but I think they were like 40 some miles out, 49, maybe 50 miles out.
You can still see 40 some miles out.
You're still gonna see it. Yeah. You're still gonna see it, no matter what. Right. You'd have to keep going, even if you went on the other side of Lake Michigan, and I'm not even sure how far across that is. You'd have to have to look
pretty
that
far,
up.
But yeah.
You're gonna see downtown Chicago. You may be a little hazy due to the atmospheric interference, but
if you go up to the North Pole, Tony, you will not see Chicago.
No. No,
that's my point. But they're just flat. You might be able to see Chicago from the North Pole, right?
Right. They take these and these calculations kill me. I've been trying to figure out the curvature, at what rate does this curve? And then you could actually figure out the degree of arc, and I still can't figure it out. But we ran across, I think you and I were talking about this a couple weeks ago, the calculator, or the calculations that they had were the curvature of the Earth drops every 7.93 inches per square mile.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, why is that
inches? Yeah.
Why is that per square mile? And I think it's per square mile because it drops in every direction. That's why they squared it. But you're not, I'm telling you right now, you're not dropping 8 inches in 1 mile. It's not happening. I don't see it. It doesn't seem like it'd be that severe. It'd be interesting though to find out. No, I was trying to think of where could I go? Where could I go here in Vegas to figure out how many, like, it's just like flat land for miles, right? Just maybe do I think, I was watching something on Row Bottom, and I know we'll get to him, about the boat that he rode out about 6 miles. I'm thinking, well, is there somewhere in Vegas I could go and stand at point A and then have someone go out 6 miles? Or even better yet, go out 1 mile just to see if it actually drops and use a laser. But then I got to thinking to myself, well, we would need a pretty big target, pretty big whiteboard, shine a laser on there. But as a matter of fact, the further you go out, when the laser that goes out, well, lo and behold, this is a little tidbit. If you were to shine a laser from planet Earth, and you were to face it to the moon, and you knew it was going to the moon, by the time the laser got to the moon, the laser beam would be 6 miles wide. Go figure.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just something that I figured out, and something I just figured out, or not figured out, but I found out just by doing some research. And I'm thinking, well, even to go 1 mile out, I don't know how big, the laser, the closer you shine it, it's a nice little dot, but the further out you get, it starts to get bigger. So I don't know how big it would be in a mile.
Yeah, and then the light kind of bends too, so.
Right. So I'd love to do the experiment. I really would.
It would be interesting to see how much, how much the Earth does it does start turning.
Right. And I think we were talking about this a couple weeks ago. If we went to the Utah Salt Flats, that's miles and miles and miles long.
Right.
But then again, we'd have to, take the video equipment and all that stuff, get to the Salt Flats, grab a hotel, get out there early in the morning, and then set the experiment up. I mean, do you think it's really worth the time and effort to do an experiment just to prove something is right or wrong? I don't know. I think the experiment will be fun.
Yeah.
But to go through all the trouble, I mean, do you think it's really worth it? I think in the end, we've known our fine snow globe here to be a globe for, like I said, thousands of years.
Right.
Um,
Well, I think as far as like an experiment, the best one would be just to get you a nice room down there in Florida and watch those ships go, oh, disappear over the horizon.
oh,
Right there
that is a
proves that.
good
Right
that.
there again proves the Earth is round.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
that is
mean?
good.
Yeah. I mean, really. I
Yeah,
mean,
that is
that's
good.
as simple as that. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
how's come the
you
flat
know,
earthers? How's come the flat earthers never really go down there and do that? That's interesting.
I don't know. You know, this whole thing, and this whole concept of flat Earth society and flat Earth theory is just amazing to me because I mean, to me, it just doesn't make any sense. But if you listen to them talk, they got a good pitch about it, and they're coming up with all these clever scenarios and ideas and how they're proving that the Earth is flat. I think what it is, and you know, I think the resurgence of it now, and it's popular with especially maybe with millennials, is because you know if you look at human nature, they kind of want everybody wants a little controversy, and they like to be different. They want to think outside the box, and I don't say there's anything wrong with that. But I mean, a lot of times they'd like to jump on. I hate to say bandwagons, but it kind of is like a bandwagon. It's like if you go to Starbucks and they introduce this new flavor of coffee and everybody jumps on that coffee, man. Yeah, this is the best coffee and this is the best thing. And you know,
Right.
it's just kind of human nature, but they'll gravitate towards something.
Right.
No pun intended on the words. Gravitate towards something that's different. And I think with this flat Earth theory, a lot of your millennials are like, yeah, man, you know, the Earth is flat, man, because look, you know, X, Y, and Z says so, and
I know,
blah
right?
blah 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 blah. So they just kind of jump on this thing but
Crazy.
everything that we look at nowadays really does. There's so much evidence that the Earth is actually round and the Earth actually does spin on an axis, and we're actually in an orbit. There's just too much evidence of it.
Oh, no doubt. I saw something the other day, as a matter of fact, and I don't have it in the show notes here, but the sundial. You take the sundial, put that flat, and watch how the sun goes down. Watch how
Right.
the shadow actually bends and changes. And then if the Earth were actually truly flat, well, then the shadow would stay a constant shadow across the dial.
Right.
Pretty funny stuff. So
And that's kind of that kind of does relate back to the ancients.
right.
You know, like even you look at Stonehenge and stuff. They built these stone structures to basically study all the movements of the stars and whatnot,
Right.
and the way the Earth was moving, and they determined that the Earth is what's actually moving. And like I said earlier, and not the sun, it's stationary.
Oh,
But
right.
it'd be funny though if we were actually wrong and found out later on that the flat earthers were completely right and we were wrong and about this.
Oh, I
That'd
know.
be funny though, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
But
but
yeah.
I,
But
I,
I just don't think that's
yeah,
the case.
I look at it, I said, what's the, for me is what is the advantage of the world being round as it is or the world being flat? Is there any advantage to it? I say there's not. And that's probably why, you get some people together and they get together and say, let's just post some videos and let's shake the world up a little bit. Maybe we'll get some attention and maybe we'll be on a late night TV show, or we'll be on a morning talk show, or we'll be on the Today Show explaining what we did, whether it's good or bad, true or false. Maybe it's recognition for me. I mean, that's what I think it is. I mean, you can put anything out on the internet that you want. You got news A here, you got news B over here, and you got the world out there looking at news A and B. Who do you believe?
Right.
Who do you believe?
Right,
I
exactly.
don't know.
Yeah. I think scientific proof is a lot of it. But like you said, there's a lot of illusions out there too.
Oh, for sure.
A lot of people that can really sell you something and make you buy it. And
Oh, no
and I
doubt.
think that's basically what this flat Earth stuff is. And it's nothing new. We get to what we talk about. Samuel Rowbottom. If you're ready to go there, we can talk about him.
Yeah, we could go with row bottom real quick if you want, and then we'll move on through the list, I guess. Row bottom's good.
Okay, the thing is, it's the flat Earth theory is nothing new. Samuel Rowbottom, like I said, he was an English literature writer, whatever. he was the one that projected the flat Earth theories and tried to sell it. And yeah, he did sell it in a lot of ways. He was pretty popular with the idea. He was born in 1816 and died in 1884. But my point is, yeah, back in the 1800s, they were talking about the flat Earth. And he was so strong about his opinion on the flat Earth that actually the people around him and lived in his community, he pretty much, anybody he was associating with, he pretty much told them, hey, this is the way it is. The Earth is flat. You believe it. And if you don't, I mean, from what I understand, he actually got upset, mad, and would ridicule people that thought that the Earth was not flat, that thought the Earth was round, rather. And the Earth is. So anyway, what I'm saying is he has been doing. It's been theorized for years.
Right.
And then it's as a resurgence in 2004 with that Daniel Shenton.
Right.
Pardon me if I'm butchering his name, but he resurrected it in 2004, the Flat Earth Society, and I think he's actually going today. I think he's still maybe involved heavily or not running it. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about the Flat Earth.
Yeah,
I just know that it's astounding. I'm astounded by people who actually believe it. It's just it's mystifying and it's intriguing, to think that people think, yeah, the Earth's flat. Did you know that? And like I said, when we first started talking about it, I was like, what? I had no idea what a Flat Earth Society was.
Oh, I know, no doubt, right? I had to look that one up. I looked that one up. Founded in I do believe it was founded in 1959. And I'm thinking 1959. I said, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what about 1949? When how's come it was 59 that you just found out this was flat, or you thought the Earth was flat at 59? What about 29? What about 1919? Right. What about, But that's that. Well, I looked at Flat Earth Society up. That's some funny stuff. Kind of like to go talk to those guys and say, hey,
1500s and
yeah,
in the 1500s and 1600s, they thought the Earth was flat, and that was just because we were ignorant. We didn't have the technology.
No.
I mean, you can kind of understand back then why man thought the Earth was flat, but today, I don't know. It's something else.
No, it is.
And we were talking about rowboat again too. Wasn't there an experiment that he did in the rowboat?
Oh yeah, he did that. Let me show. I showed that graphic here. This let me get row bottoms experiment. Yeah, I just threw that up. I'll throw it up. I'll throw that up one more time here. This is this is that experiment he did. I got it on your cam, but that's okay. Yeah, he did that. He did that experiment where he had a flag about about 5 feet above the water, and he had a guy row out about 6 miles. Then we got to the 6 miles destination. He had his telescope out there, and he got the old telescopic scope, and I can still see you. I can still see you. And then that told him, okay, yep, I am pretty much thinking the Earth is flat. All right, dock it. Okay, let's write this down. Earth is flat.
But 6 miles out.
Yeah, but Mr. Rowbottom, row out a little bit more. Row. And I don't think the river, I don't even know what the hell river they were on. What river was that? I can't remember. At least it was 6 miles long, but I think that river would have to be, if it was 600 miles long, Rowbottom might want to go, I don't know what direction he'd have to go. He might want to go to the Nile and, row down the Nile for about 600 miles. Yeah, I can't see it now. Yes, because the Earth, guess what? You got to change your nose, Rowbottom. It's not flat. Change it to round.
There you go.
I know.
Pretty simple stuff.
Speaking of interesting stuff we got going on here. We got something else I want to touch base on here. And let me get my cam up here. I already am up here. Here we go. What about, get this, guys. Guessed it. Does the Bible teach a flat Earth? And believe it or not, there are some scriptures in the Bible. There are Revelation 7:1, and let me go through Revelation 7:1 for you. After these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. Got it. I'm good with that, but that does not teach a flat Earth. people misinterpret the Bible. Four corners. If you had the earth, four corners, could you get to the four corners? Well, you can't, because the earth is round. So if the earth was flat, could you get to four corners? And give me my flat earth. Could you get to four corners here? And here's the paper. Yeah, you could probably get to four corners, but the earth would have to be square. The earth's not square, it's round. Even if it were flat, it's not what you think. The Bible has a lot of idiomatic expressions, and just want to read to you what that idiomatic expression actually is. It's a type of informal English that has a meaning different from the meaning of the words used in the expression. Completely different. So we can rule that out. We can rule that verse out. I got one more verse I'd like to share with the crowd, and that would be 1 Chronicles 16:30. It mentions the earth shall be stable, that it not be moved. And let me get that verse for you guys. I want to share this. Get this out. Here we go. 1 Chronicles 16:30. Fear before him all the earth, that the world also shall be stable, that it not be moved. Gotcha. Not be moved. Okay, in order, not be moved. Earth, sitting here in space. It's rotating. What I think is not being moved, because their earth is sitting there. You can't take this earth and move it to, say, like the Andromeda galaxy, and all of a sudden it's out of our solar system. It's just in another solar system, and welcome to the Andromeda galaxy. Not true. So the Bible's great. I encourage everybody to read the Bible. It's good stuff. It's just that the Bible doesn't teach a flat earth theory. And as a matter of fact, the Bible doesn't teach a round globe. It teaches neither. Just to let you guys.
That's interesting notes there. Yeah.
Oh, it is. It's interesting stuff.
It's an interesting topic. Put that alone. Yeah.
Oh, I know, right? Exactly. They actually, there's more than just those two Bible verses. There's verses, I think, in Isaiah that mentions four corners. There's some other stuff in Psalms that mention. People mention Psalms 109, I think, somewhere in 109 that could possibly represent a flat type of earth. It's not flat, guys. Come on.
Yeah. And, I really, like I said, I think that they were really, like you were saying, determining that meant something other than actual, literally four corners, And like you said, if you take those four corners, you can actually take them and you can actually wrap that around the earth. I think we were talking about that one time, too.
Right.
Take the piece of paper and
you could.
You take the piece of paper and you put your four corners all the way around. So
it's not an actual physical. When you look at the verse, the four corners, the angels and on the four corners, it's not an actual corner. It's just far outer reach of the globe. So you can say from down here to the farther side corner, over here, and then over here. Yeah, it's just to the further out, farther reaches of the globe, just like the farthest reach of the solar system. Say there's the four corners of the solar system. Whoops! Now the solar system. Now the solar system's square. Four corners of the solar system. You can't take
it literally.
No, it's symbolic. The Bible teaches. The Bible has a lot of symbolic language in it. The Bible has a lot of literal. You could take it. You got to be careful when you start just interpreting the Bible, whether you use symbolic term or you use a literal term. You got to be careful, because once you get to deciphering it one way, you stick with that way, you find yourself getting into trouble.
Yeah, that's
true. You really gotta dig through and look at all the commentaries. Definitely look at Matthew Henry commentary on the Bible. Go through his commentary. There's a lot of other good commentators that commentated on the Bible. Very good people. But like I said, the Bible doesn't teach. It doesn't teach a globe model. It doesn't teach a flat model. And then, just the one thing I had down here is, the Bible passages that seem to present a flat earth, they can all be explained when correctly understood. So you just got to correctly understand that passage. Any passage any passage in the Bible, you have to correctly understand that to gain knowledge from it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's well said. Exactly.
Oh, for sure.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah, and something that I wrote and pulled up rather is that Rowbottom, he speaking to him, he further held that the sun and the moon were 3,000 miles above the earth, and that the cosmos was 3,100 miles above the earth.
Wow.
So, just a notation out there. That's just kind of how he was thinking, Right. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's amazing how people think. Everybody thinks differently.
That's true.
And again, we're not bashing people that believe in the flat earth. We're just throwing it out there. And if the flat earth people got something and they can prove that the thing is flat, man, physically, like I said, with the airplane or whatever, do it, film it on the internet or whatever, do it, prove it, prove the thing's flat. Because right now there's more evidence that the earth is round than flat. And, I guess we could go to NASA.
Right.
NASA, anybody knows who NASA is? I'm sure a lot of people do. They have proof that the Earth's round. I mean, we've been orbiting, they've been putting spaceships up for years. Right. Space shuttle orbiting the Earth many times. Actually, have videotaped it and filmed it. And now we have a space station that actually orbits the Earth, and we film it and we send it out for everybody to see. So right there's proof that the Earth is round. Now, some people don't believe in NASA, and that's fine too if you don't believe in NASA. Right. But here's the simple thing right here. I'll say this. Okay, for the people that don't believe in NASA, they say NASA's a fake and blah, blah, blah. That's a fairy tale. Okay. What is not a fairy tale is we have these things today that are called telescopes, which we had years ago, but we got telescopes, and I got one. I know a couple of my friends actually have a telescope. You can actually get out there at night, look through your telescope, and guess what, guys? The moon is round. The other planets are round. Okay, you look out there, all these planets are round. Stars are round. Now, my question is this. Why would everything else be round and the Earth be the only thing that's flat? I mean, I talked about that earlier, but it's true. And if you get a telescope, you can go out there and see it for yourself, and that's right there, black and white. Even if you don't believe in NASA and you think all that stuff's faked and hoax, just get you a telescope and look out. Now, I just don't think the Earth is the only thing out there that's flat like this and round. Everything else is round and everything's rotating around us. I just, right there's your proof.
I know. Joe proof. I mean, it's just like saying, hey, inside that can of paint is red paint, or inside the can of paint is black paint. If someone doesn't believe it, well, prove it. Just open it up, spill it out, just spray it out of the can or whatever, or show what it says on the can, the color on the can. There's no proof. I mean, it's like I said, for me, it's entertainment. It's TV entertainment. And like I said, you got a lot of stuff out there on the internet, a lot of media coverage, a lot of true media coverage, a lot of false media coverage. There's true news, fake news, and then it leaves the viewer out there saying, well, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. Now I'm all confused. You just made me confused. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I know. You teach your kids. We live on a globe, and all of a sudden, the kid grows up in the flat Earth. Wait a minute. My mom, and dad, and we were taught. My mom, and dad told me in the school science taught me this, that it was flat or round, and now it's all of a sudden flat. Well, that's preposterous. Where'd you get that idea from? I think it's money. Right. It's got to be a money thing. I mean, people are warp-minded. Well, there are some warp-minded people out there. But it's just saying, let's just mess everybody up. Let's just say the Earth is a pancake. It's square. I mean, you can only get some. Hey, you know what? I just found out. I did some research. The Earth is a triangle. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. I mean,
it makes no sense. And like I said, it's just got to be. And like we said earlier, a couple times, it's nothing new. They've been talking about the Earth is flat back in the 1800s.
Right.
And with like we used row bottom as an example. We
right.
talked
Exactly.
about I mean, so it's nothing new, but but it's just amazing today with all the technology that we actually have, that people still believe that the Earth is flat, and they'll argue with you about that. Oh yeah. I talked to a guy I work with. He goes, I told him that we were going to do this flat Earth theory podcast, and he's like, oh yeah, I've read a lot about that. The Flat Earth Society people, and man, there could be something to that, man. He goes, I really think it could be flat, man, and it makes a lot of sense what they're talking about and all that. I'm thinking, I'm scratching my head thinking, what's he talking about? I know, right? The Earth is round, man. But the thing is if you have a good marketing tool and you want to sell it, you can sell it, and there's people that are going to buy it.
And that's what they do.
It's right or wrong, right?
Well, it's plainly what they do.
It's the way it is. Like I said, human nature, man.
Like you said,
anything.
Like you said, is they argue about it, and they don't have any solid proof to argue. What they do is they have all this stuff that was compiled on paper, and then they're arguing with themselves with what they put down versus, okay, really is round, but if the Earth were flat, how could we perceive that on paper? So they write it down, they have some calculations, and they do this, and they say, oh, you can't do this. You can see him about 6 miles away. So that's good. That's don't tell him it's like more than 100 or 200. Just go with 6, because at 6 it's flat.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then go do the experiment. Just go to the they go to the ocean, right? And okay, stand right here. And I'm going to go down here a couple blocks, and can you see me? Yeah. Or it's flat. It doesn't curve.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like you said, there's no solid proof on their side.
No, they don't have
their side, but the flat Earth people. Like again, we don't have anything against flat Earth people. We're just.
No, I don't have anything.
God love you that you believe it, but I just we're throwing we throw things out here for discussion and think about it. They really think about it.
What was
some people that believe in the flat Earth theory really seriously think about that and look at everything that's around us and the proof that shows that the Earth is actually round.
I just thought about something that we were talking about earlier during the show is the on a flat Earth, gravity you always gravitate to the center. So if the Earth was flat, what about everybody on the outer part of the Earth right now? Are they like having a hard time with life? I feel like I'm being pulled to the center. Is that the case? But that's not the case. Right. Like I'm saying is, like you were saying, there is no solid proof. They all they have is stuff that they compiled, and like I said, they wrote down on a piece of paper saying this is how to get people to think it's flat.
Yeah.
By this, and okay, we don't really have any solid proof. We don't want to go. No, we don't want to get in an airplane and then fly to the edge, and then kind of once we get to the edge, just kind of take a left and snap some pictures and come back. We don't want to do that because it doesn't exist.
Right.
So there's there's no solid proof for me.
Well, and here's an interesting thought I just thought of. I wonder if there's any flat Earth believers that own cell phones or watch television. Okay, I bet you there's people that believe that the Earth is flat that owns a cell phone. Don't you?
I do.
Okay, all right. Do they believe that? Do they know how their cell phone operates? That there's satellites that what they do orbit around the Earth, that provide your communications for your cell phones and your television and whatnot. So you flat earthers think about that. Right. You're on your cell phone, and how's that thing work? It just doesn't magically turn on, and you get your signal. It's from towers and it's from satellites, and whatnot. Your television, your internet is all run by satellites. Your weather, if you watch weather forecasts, is run by satellites. What do you think satellite imagery is? Do you think a satellite just goes up and stays hovering right in front, right on top of the flat Earth and just stays there?
Just stays there.
It doesn't work that way, right, Tony? It doesn't work that way.
It wouldn't work that way.
Satellites revolve.
No, it would be
around the Earth.
Right, exactly. I'm glad you mentioned.
Here's another thing you got to think about. Okay?
I'm glad you mentioned the satellite. That is true.
And the thing is, cell phones are real. I got one right here. It works. This, the internet we're using right now works. It's all possible because of satellite communication.
It is.
And satellites, I hate to break this to you all, but satellites rotate around a round Earth, round and round.
That's true. I know, no doubt,
Good
right?
song, by the way, by Rat.
Yeah, by Rat, round and round.
Yeah, I know we're old school, so a lot of people probably don't know who
They
that
might,
is.
yeah, I know, yeah, right. They may not know Rat, but hey, that's some good stuff. That's some good stuff.
You know, guys, this has been fun to do this show, and you know, like I said, nothing against the flat Earth people. It's all good, and we just kind of throw it out there. We're not geniuses, but we just kind of throw it out there and let you guys think about it. We just want you to think about things, and that's why we throw these subjects out. But if you like our show, like and subscribe on the bottom. Tony and I have known each other for a long time. We're a couple old school guys, and we're happy being old school guys. You know, I'm open minded about things, and I'll listen to things, and you know. But what we'll try to do is we'll try to bring the facts in, and then we'll set it straight for you. And mainly, it's like to make you think about it. Okay, just think about things when we introduce a subject. Just kind of think about it. It's open discussion. Comment below, whatever. But that's the whole gist of our show. Is we like to talk about things that are unusual. But I hope you guys liked it. And I don't know. You got anything more to add, Tony?
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here. We're just about out of time. I'd like to thank everybody for joining in on us. As John said, we're not here to bash anybody. We want you guys to know the truth, and we just want you to know what we think here on the John and Tony Show, especially John and I, what we think, and our opinions. And like I said, we're not bashing anybody. It doesn't matter we don't care if you bash us. It's good fun, you guys. We sit here, we're gonna have fun with everything that we do.
It's all about fun.
Oh, it's all good fun, and it's just going to give you guys one last look at the flat Earth here, and this is what they claim: the flat Earth, which I believe is a false theory. And then here, the Earth here, folks. We're just going to go to what it really is. There you go. That's Earth in reality, as we see it.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And our show's just starting, and we're coffee drinkers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I love coffee, and I collect coffee mugs. And this is our first show, and there'll be very many more to come. And we will have a store, and that'll be in the future. And we'll sell these mugs that say John and Tony Show, and and T-shirts and all kinds of good stuff. But yeah, thanks for sticking with us, guys, and we hope to see you next Monday. I think that's all I got, Tony. All
right, guys. Thanks, appreciate that. And don't forget, guys. I got to get my graphics up here. Sorry about this here. This is my end graphic. Next Monday, we're going to talk about, yes, you guessed it, aliens in Area 51. You decide. For John Allen, I'm Tony Scott. See you next Monday.